And good afternoon. I am Kathleen Taylor, and I am with the Nevada Women's Business Center. Thank you so much for tuning in today with us for this live stream webinar about Team Building 101. I decided to use a different format this time around and provide you with some concise slides to talk about Team Building 101 and some information and some how-tos basically that you can implement with your staff. Basically what we're going to cover today is I'm going to provide you with an overview of the Nevada Women's Business Center and also some basic guidelines for team building in the workplace and also how you can create some opportunities when certain dynamics happen in the workplace with employees or colleagues, and how you can capitalize on that to create a team building exercise. And also some closing remarks. So basically, the Nevada Women's Business Center, we are a federally funded nonprofit organization. All of our services are free. So if you need help with counseling, taking your business idea from idea to business plan to launch your business, we can help you in your development with counseling at no charge. We also have workshops and classes such as this one with online webinar platforms or in-person in-person class seminars where we're more than we welcome the community at large to participate in these types of seminars, that we partner with other agencies around the community such as the Urban Chamber of Commerce, the Nevada Hispanic Business Group, the Las Vegas Urban League, Red Flint, among others. So please come to our office if you need any help in reference to your entrepreneur development and training. We are also affiliated with the Small Business Administration, the SBA, and even though the majority of our clients are women, we are definitely inclusive of men as well. We don't exclusively serve women, but we're inclusive as well, so that everyone is welcome. And we do have clients that are men, and they have flourished and developed tremendously and launched successful businesses under our tutelage and assistance. So let's basically review some guidelines for team building that I really think you will benefit from this. So as you know, organizations, hopefully they recognize the benefits of teamwork and also to encourage their employees to work effectively together. So when you develop guidelines for team building in the workplace, you have to remember that team building is a process, and that develops over time, and just doing like random exercises, or that won't likely produce the results that you want. So it's really important to stay consistent and also stay selective so that you can achieve the goal that you want. So a general guideline for team building is basically to first establish the team building guidelines and the structure first, and then coordinate the activities. So that way you stay consistent and there is a goal associated with team building exercises. So first of all, one of the basic guidelines is let's just get to know your staff. It's really important to make an effort to understand the different personalities, the different needs, aspirations, likes or dislikes, and even strengths and weaknesses of your staff. So this way, by knowing these things, you can plan team building activities that you know are appropriate, and it won't make anyone feel uncomfortable. So this way, it really is important to get to know your staff, get their input about what type of team building exercises that they're interested in. Also, a second guideline, discuss with your staff the reason for the team building. And this is really important because this way you are communicating your goals and also the company's goals to let them know what you hope to accomplish through this team building exercise. And again, this goes back to what I said previously about establishing the structure of team building. So this way you're establishing a foundation so that everyone understands the rationale behind that, and you're just not doing a team building activity just to do a team building activity. Continuing with guideline number 3, and that is allowing your staff to plan the team building activities. And this is really important because it allows you and also the team members and staff to help them plan and coordinate activities that they have the most interest in. And this way they have a say and an input and a stake in it as well. And it makes them feel inclusive in the planning process. And this way they will take ownership and help them, to work together and motivate them. So it's really important to get staff input with your team building activities, and that's a really important guideline. Continuing with some guidelines for team building, you want to start team building with like a get to know you icebreaker. That's always a good idea, and this way it really helps staff to recognize their similarities and their differences, between each other. This could be something as simple as having an informal meeting where everyone gets about 1 minute to describe what their hobbies are, their favorite movies, their favorite music, so on and so forth. So kind of like a get to know you icebreaker is always a good start with a team building exercise. Also, it's really important to establish ground rules for team building exercises as well. This way everyone shows respect for each other at all times. It's an opportunity for people to be open with each other and about each other as well. So, and with this, it helps to inform staff that, everyone will have an opportunity to participate as well. And when a person chooses to participate, then their input will be received in a respectful manner. And also, another guideline for team building is to be consistent with your team building exercise. That's really important, and this way you are building cohesion amongst team members, and it really does help to develop what your goal is in this team building. Is it helping to enhance communication? Is it helping to do projects? Is it helping to meet timelines? Is it helping staff to improve their own professional development and personal development on the job? So be consistent with the team building exercises, and that way it's not an extracurricular activity. Instead, it's being integrated into the infrastructure of your organization. And also, it really does build cohesion and bonding amongst your employees as well. So those are some things that I wanted to share with you in reference to guidelines for team building. And there are a couple more things that I wanted to share with you too during this webinar. So for example, I think it's a really good idea to make you aware of, there are times when some type of situation may occur, and that situation may have conflict, associated with it amongst your staff. Well, quite frankly, in the heat of the moment, that is really an opportunity for you to capitalize on as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, or as a program manager and you are supervising staff, to create a team building opportunity out of that. So, for example, let's go over a couple of these. So, promote consensus among misaligned teammates. So, for example, when employees are spending more and more time arguing and promoting their own personal agendas, and things may get heated, you may want to try this tactic. You may want to just stop the meeting, pull the team together, and have a flip chart or a whiteboard handy. And then on the flip chart or the whiteboard, write 2 columns. One column, write ideas we agree on, and the second column, pros and cons. So this way, you list the ideas or the points that the group members can all agree on. And then you continue your discussions based only on these items. And then you discuss the pros and cons of each point. And this is a really good exercise because it's really simple, and it's a really good way of refocusing your team members, refocusing the group, that has gone off the tracks, so to speak. And then after the activity, now your team or your colleagues or the people that were involved, in that disagreement, now they have a framework to communicate about new ideas and initiatives, and looking at the pros and cons of each one. So this is a really good exercise to try to get consensus amongst people that are at different ends of the spectrum when it comes to a particular topic or some direction or some task or some project. So you may want to try that with your staff. Also, another opportunity that you can create is when you see that there may be some type of miscue or miscommunication amongst your team. In the workplace, there's nothing more important than effective communication. It's really, really critical that everyone is on the same page, or at least everyone is reading the same book, so to speak. So in order to handle misunderstandings or conflict that may arise due to poor or vague communication, you may want to try this activity. So, for example, have everyone write down these phrases and what they mean. And this is a really simple but effective team building exercise, specifically with communication. So, for example, have everyone write down these phrases and what they mean to them. So, for example, one phrase may be, turn this in at once. What does that mean to you when someone says, turn this in at once? Or, let's meet downstairs. Or, by the end of the day, please. Have each person write this down, and then have each person read his or her interpretation aloud of what those 3 phrases mean, and then note the differences. It's really interesting how people perceive the same thing in a different way. Because to me, when someone says, turn this in at once, do they mean like within the next hour? Do they mean by the end of the business day? Or let's meet downstairs? Does this mean immediately or during our break? What specifically does this mean? Or by the end of the day, please. Does this mean by 3 o'clock? Does this mean by 5 o'clock? Does this mean after lunch? Some people have different perceptions as to what certain things mean. So this way, it really gives you clarity about what is being asked, of a person and how a person is perceiving this to be. So it really I really do, recommend this activity, just to clear up communication. And this way, it really helps your staff and your team during this team building exercise to really thrive when communication is clear, when communication is concise, when it's direct, and it's commonly understood by everyone. So with that, let's look at another team building opportunity. Let's just say that there's a situation where a conversation is being taking place, like a brainstorming activity, and you really want to monitor like the cynicism that may occur, or cynic comments that may occur when during a brainstorming session. That's where the innovation comes into play, and people are more on the creative side, and they still want to make a contribution. But for some employees, they may be reluctant to speak up because they worry that their ideas may be ridiculed or even ignored. So to eliminate that type of concern, you may want to just use this type of brainstorming activity, and this really encourages people to be open-minded and more positive. So for your next brainstorming activity where you want everyone's input, you may want to, as a group, and this may be related to the ground rules, as a group, create a list of negative statements, that are banned from the session. For example, you may want to have the phrase, that will never work, as a phrase that's banned from being said, or we've done that before, or that's just impossible to do. And it's really interesting when you ban these type of phrases from discussion, and then you choose a fun code word, so to speak. And whenever these banned statements are being made, then teammates or other colleagues, they can say this fun code word, as a way of having the buzz effect, like, oh, you said a buzzword. So it's really interesting how it helps a person to reframe and frame their comments coming from a more positive perspective versus a more cynical perspective. And this way it really enhances the tone of the discussion and makes people feel comfortable that, when I do speak, I'm being heard, and also I'm not being ridiculed. There's a big difference between ridiculing someone and giving constructive feedback, within a discussion. So it's really interesting when you use these types of quote ground rules or these types of activities when you are communicating and conveying ideas during a brainstorming session. It really does change the whole dynamic of how people word things, of their thinking process, and being more conscientious of others as well. Now, continuing, just a couple more with team building opportunities that I'd like to share with you. And another type of opportunity that could exist is, strengthening relationships and collaboration. I would say that it's really important. Relationships between when relationships between employees are strong, they're better able to communicate. They can work together to problem solve, and they can also manage conflicts as well. So the goal of any activity designed to strengthen relationships and collaboration is to help team members change their mindset from a me mentality to a we mentality. And that's really important to know the difference. So in order to facilitate that, again, you may want to ask your colleagues, staff. What is your take on something that we can do together as a team that would strengthen our relationship and also facilitate collaboration between us? And it could be something that you could do that would be of service to the community, so to speak. So, for example, maybe as a team or an organization, maybe volunteer for a toy drive around the holidays, or for a school supplies drive before school starts, or compete in a charity run, or volunteer at a particular organization as collectively as a unit. So all of these things, are different types of activities that can unite a group and also give employees a case of the feel goods, so to speak. And that'll, both benefit a person personally and also professionally, and also enhance and strengthen the relationship between team members. And then last, I'd like to talk about uniting behind a common goal. And with this, I think it's really important in team building to establish a common team goal. And with this, I would highly recommend to use the SMART goal model to do so. So SMART goals, it's an acronym, and it's a goal that is defined as one is, the S is for specific, the M is for measurable, the A is for achievable, the R is results focused, and the T is time bound. So with SMART goals, it really gives you a lot of flexibility, and also it gives you more of a concrete or solid foundation as to the who, what, when, where, and why, so to speak, of accomplishing a goal. So as a team, I would suggest to create one team SMART goal or goals, and also some individual SMART goals as well. So just to kind of clarify a little bit more, with the SMART goal beginning with the letter S, starting, which is the first letter of the acronym or the first letter of the word SMART. S is for specific, and it is specific for what is what is it that you clearly want to do as a team, as a group, or as an individual. Why do you want to do that, and how? So being specific is really important in defining your goals. Also, the M. The M stands for measurable in the word SMART. And the goals should be measurable so that you have tangible evidence that you have accomplished the goal. So usually the entire goal is a measure of a project, but then there are like several shorter term goals, or shorter term or smaller measurements that are built within that goal too. So there are like mini goals within an overall goal that can be measured as well. And also, when you are measuring, when you measure the progress of a goal, then it really gives you an idea as to where you're at, and if it's attainable, if it's realistic. And that brings us to the letter A within the word SMART of your SMART goals, which is achievable. And your goals should be achievable, and you should feel that, what, if I am just like stretched just a bit, just so that I'm feeling challenged, but at the same time I'm not feeling overwhelmed, then I know that I can be motivated, to achieve this goal that I'm setting for the team, that I'm setting for myself. So, and also with being achievable within your SMART goal, it's really important that you have like a certain skill set or a certain, knowledge base of something, or, the abilities that are needed to achieve this goal. So you have to be realistic as well, in that it is achievable. It's not impossible to achieve this goal within your SMART goal. Also, within the SMART goal acronym is the letter R, and that is for results focused. And result focused goals, they also measure outcomes. It's really important to know that being results focused are goals that measure outcomes, not activities. So, for example, let's say that your goal by August 30th is to implement a new performance management system for your organization and for your staff. So, and in order to implement that, you're going to provide your staff with, several trainings and a handbook that you're going to review with them so that they become familiar with how to use the system. So let's say that you set up or coordinate a series of 3 trainings. So the trainings or the activities that are related to enhancing the knowledge base of your staff, so that successfully by August 30th they will know how to use this new performance management system. So that is the result. So by a certain time frame, and this segue into the T within the word SMART for time bound. So once we get the results that we want and that staff are adequately trained, we can measure how they were from baseline to how comfortable and competent they are in using this new system, and we have achieved this outcome by a specific timeline, which is August 30th of this year. So one thing that that's really important about timelines is that it does hold you accountable, but at the same time, timelines or deadlines, they have to be a bit flexible too, because if you have such a structured and stringent timeline, it may be demotivating, to someone versus, motivating to someone. So let's say that the August 30th goal wasn't met specifically on August 30th. Well, within that, when you establish that goal to accomplish this task by a certain date and time, you may want to say, okay, within 1 week before or within 1 week after this date. So that way you give yourself a little cushion, a little flexibility, to meet the goal, but still within the same time frame. So with that, I wanted to review with you just some really simple guidelines, some really simple team building opportunities that you may come across for team building. And it really is like a short, sweet, and to the point presentation and webinar. So I hope that you got some really good relevant information that you can share with your colleagues, you can share with your staff. And this is just a basic team building webinar of some information that I came across and that I use. I also implement and use SMART goals too for my own professional and personal development. So I really do recommend that you do a little bit more research and to see how you can use SMART goals to enhance your staff development, your own professional and personal development. And also you can use the SMART goal model to help you enhance your business operations too, to enhance productivity and to enhance staff performance as well. Also, please be diligent, and please be disciplined, and please be inquisitive. When you think about team building activities, be innovative and creative with that, and always remember to get your staff or your teammates' input when you're creating and coordinating team building exercises. It's really important that everyone is on the same page with this, and that will really help enhance relationships and communication, which will then in turn enhance how people work together within the workplace. So, thank you so much for tuning in to this webinar about Team Building 101. If you have any questions, I'm Kathleen Taylor. Please give me a call at the Nevada Women's Business Center at area code 702-734-3555. Also, check us out online at www.nevadawbc.com. And also look at our calendar of events under our services tab on our website, and you will see a variety of different educational webinars or events that are in the community that we are providing for free. By the way, if you'd like to know more information about business and technology and how innovative, how different types of technological innovations are having an impact on business, then please join us tomorrow at 5:30. We're going to be at the Las Vegas Urban League at 5:30 for a seminar entitled Business and Technology, and Shavana Collins, the director at Red Flint, is going to be our guest speaker. So please come if you'd like to learn more how technology and business go hand in hand these days, and how it can enhance your business infrastructure. So once again, thanks so much for tuning in. And if you have any comments or questions, please contact us. Thank you so much. I'm Kathleen Taylor with the Nevada Women's Business Center.